Hello there, Lodi Farm Guy here. Welcome back, and this is my new view from my front porch here on Edgewater, Saskatchewan. Welcome to episode 9. I believe it's going to be called Chip, Fill, and Plow. At least that's what I'm thinking. Could change. I could change my mind. I have the option to change my mind. But anyways, we've been a bit busy, as you may see here. This area is much different than it was before. And if we pop up, let's pop up here. And if you recall, there was like lakes here, really, ponds. And I went through a fair bit of experimentation and a whole bunch of other stuff and a whole lot of money to figure out the best way to do this. And even after I was done this, I still hadn't really found the best way. And why is this here? Well, it's my tornado bunker. Not that Saskatchewan gets a lot of tornadoes. However, it's a way to cover. There was a tree stump that was left after the terraforming, and it made a big hole that I couldn't fill. So I put this on top of it. It's kind of like it's actually just a decoration. It comes with the silo pack, so it's not actually a silo or anything, but it's a decoration. It was pretty cheap. So we got a stone picker because we've been doing a whole bunch of stone picking, and if we look at this, there we go, stone. So I've cleared out everything here. Did I show you buying? We bought this area, filled in the ditches, cleared all the stones off, except of course this little spot here. Now what's been going on? Well, let's pop over here. Over here. Let's come over here, because I did some more experimenting. And don't worry, I will show you my method. And if you recall here, there was a big, right over here, there was a pond area. And then just before I started filming, pretty much, this whole area was kind of bush and a couple of ponds, and it's a little dimply, but for the most part, it's not bad. It's totally farmable, and now we have like awesomeness here. Let's go down in here. So this, the kind of the blank spots here, you see these, that's where all the lakes and rivers and stuff, and pond here, kind of a pond here with trees and stuff, and then there was a pond here, a pond there, and then what we have left is I bought this plot of land here. I bought 33. Let's go back up here. Yes, so I purchased 40 was purchased. I can't remember what I did last episode. So we expanded this area here, and I purchased this here and this, and so I filled this. So this is all filled as oops, nope. Anyways, let's jump into here and just go for a little ride. So I have expanded this, filled in all the little rivers and stuff, and this had peas in it. We just finished that. And so what this episode basically is going to be converting this field and filling all these ditches and ponds and stuff, and plowing it in, getting the trees out of here. And this area over here is also part of our land that came with this plot. And there's a bunch of trees on here, and there's kind of like a little stream that goes through there. And we're going to cut all that down, clear cut it, plow it in, and use it for for field, for growing crops. That's what we're going to do. And this was just terrible spot to to harvest, because it was like going around and So the first thing I'll show you is kind of how I did it at first, or how the kind of the method I used. And that was, I went in here and I went over into sheds and I picked a big shed, something like this, for example, and I would place it across the lake. And when you do that and you put it down, it kind of basically covers it, and it will actually fills it. So if we go over to something a little bit smaller, so yes, so placing this down, as you can see, there's the cement. There's got a cement floor, and if you put it down just right, it'll fill that spot. And then when you sell the building, it's filled, and it'll have the base is left there, and it'll have filled it. Now, it worked all right. However, it was hugely expensive until I found some cheaper sheds to build, because you lose half the value of the shed every time you sell it. So you buy a building for $100,000, and when you sell it, you get $50,000 back. Now, I did a few things. I bought some product, brought and sold some product to make a little bit of money to do all that. So didn't use a government sign, but I wanted to experiment a little bit, and so now I did buy this chipper and turn it on. Well, it would help if I turned it on. And we're going to get rid of all the trees. There we go. So we're actually going to go. We're going to start with this. We'll start with this field, and then we'll start with the creek that runs through there, dividing the two. And we're just going to hit these trees here real quick. And this is the Unreal Tree Devourer, but I think I've shown this before in a previous episode. It's a little strange. I'm not sure why the standard version doesn't have the pipe, and the Unreal version has the pipe, which costs about 25 grand more, or $100,000 more actually. A little strange. So I just it's $25,000 to buy, and it's like, okay, well, what happened was I sold our sunflowers, I sold all our crops, and there was peas on here. We still got peas, but I got a pretty good price for the sunflowers, and so that kind of, because I was down to just I was down to just a few dollars, let's say. And the sale of our crops helped quite a bit, and we're going to get some wood chips here, which is going to help us pay for a few things. Now I have, like I said, I did. There we go. We're going to clear. Oh dear, that tree is in the air. Floating tree. Are we gonna be able to? Oh dear. It has a collision too. Well, that's gonna be that's gonna be tricky. Yes. Okay. Well. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a way. There is a way, but I don't have the equipment to do that at the moment. It's going to take some finagling, so that's something we're going to have to deal with later. Right, so that's good. We've got this pretty much, well, except for that. That's kind of weird. Right, so let's get to it then, shall we? This is pretty simple. This stuff is all pretty simple in itself. Let's kind of start up over here, because that's where Initially, I thought I wasn't going to be able to, so I'm gonna actually kind of start in over here. Landscaping, sculpting, level. There we go. Let's crank up the strength. Let's get it up a little bit larger here, and let's get this leveled out here. And this is just kind of the initial, and then we'll go over it again with a touch it up and so forth and so on. Sometimes it's hard to see with the grass on there what actually is going on, because, well, it's hard to see. And it doesn't always go instantaneously either, so it looks like it's going pretty quick. If we get in a little closer, there we go, like this, and you can see the grass is popping up, so, and the money's going down, so that's how you know that's the other way you know it's working. It's taking chunks out of my bank account, but that's okay. Now here's where I was having, I thought I was having issues, but actually it was only because my circle was too small, and I wasn't letting, because the edges of the circle have a lesser speed, so the terraforming speed increases as you get towards the middle. So the red is fast, the green is slow. So as you approach something, the green slowly, the edges slowly pull it up, but then once the middle comes, the red part, it's where the most strength of the terraforming effect becomes. And so that's when you approach a lake or something like that, or a river, or something like this where you want to, because if you go here it disappears. It's like, oh, I can't do that, which is correct that way. But if you start up here and you inch yourself closer slowly, that the edge is slowly raising that, and you can just slowly inch your way across, like the blob from the old movie, The Blob, just going across and just slowly eating everything. And there we have, we will have successfully filled our pond, and we haven't spent $50,000. So that's kind of nice. And then afterwards, oh, you've got mail. Afterwards, let's go back over here, and then what I do is I just widen it up, really crank up that. We'll do the soften. Oh, there we go. I'll crank that up, and it doesn't it just kind of levels everything out a little bit. If there's any sharp edges or lumps, it kind of smooths them out for the most part. And then afterwards, after we plow it, then we'll catch a few of the a few bad spots, and we can fix that, and then just replow it again. So let's go back into level, and let's continue filling these ditches and make ourselves something that resembles a field that we can actually work in, and the workers won't be going, oh yes. When I was picking some rocks, my worker ended up in the drink at least once, and I actually went into the pond one time myself, and yeah, it's not fun, because you have to reset it then to get it out, and it resets all the way back to the store. And of course, anything you've collected in the rock picker disappears. Oh, yes, there was one other thing I did really try at the very beginning, before even the building trick, was I was picking rocks, and I was going and dumping rocks into the pond, trying to fill the pond with rocks. And that really didn't work all that well. And yeah, it wouldn't. It really wouldn't work. Slowly, the blob, the blob. So in the blob, the original The Blob movie was black and white back in, I think, the 50s, at sometime in the 50s. And then they remade that movie sometime in the 70s, I do believe. I do remember watching it as a child, a youngster, and being kind of fascinated by the whole idea, of course. And let's see how badly of a mess we can make here. There we go. That looks fairly functional there. This whole area has a bit of a dip and a dive to it, anyways. Yes, and then they remade a color version of The Blob, of course, and it was just equally as bad, really. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Well, it was very campy to begin. I mean, it was one of those movies that the one remake was enough. It wasn't like I don't know, some of these movies, you can kind of modernize them and do a remake version of them and kind of get away with it because nobody remembers the original. But although, to be honest, the original War of the Worlds and then the remake with Tom Cruise, I didn't really like the remake. It was okay. The original was kind of way more scary, though. Although, actually, they really didn't change the plot as much on that remake as I thought they would have, or could have, or did to some movies. They just completely changed it. The only thing that's kind of the same was the title, like Judge Dredd. If you ever watched a remake of that, it's like totally different. All right. I think we're done that spot. Where else do we... Oh, yeah, we got to go this way. I actually think I'm getting a little better at this whole leveling kind of thing. Right, so... Oh, we got all this. We did this already? See what I mean about it's hard to tell where what you've done and what you haven't done. All right, so let's soften the blow, as it were, and let's just go over top of this. Shouldn't cost too much money to do a... Oh, that's dinging me for a few bucks there. Now, as you can see, throwing the softening doesn't actually change the... it doesn't destroy the ground. As if you're leveling, it changes. As you can see, it turns it into grass. But if you're softening, for some reason, it doesn't change any of the texture or anything. So I don't have to plow it up. If I'm going over top of it, it's just kind of it's raising the low points, and it's pulling down some of the high points. That's what it actually is supposed to do. All right, so let's see how badly we did here. Oh yes, and our canola field is still... I'll see, it's kind of... It's a little bit lumpy here. Well, I guess we'll find out how bad it is. Our canola field, yes, It's still there. I've been waiting to do that. So we're going to do that as well in this episode. We're going to swath it and that. But I thought I'd show this first because it's probably a little bit more interesting than... Oh yes, and this is also still happening until they... Come on, I want to create fields. There we go. Yeah, the whole... there we go. Yeah, so since the update, if there's anything like lime, if you spread lime on a field, or this is, so you can see, this is where the straw spread from the harvester spits out on the field, and it doesn't go away even if you plow it. Very strange. That's a result or a let's say a glitch from the latest update, and I'm sure many of you have also experienced this and one is wondering what's going on. So it looks like it's some kind of a texture glitch. And oh, there's a bit of a dip here. Not too bad yet. Still a little bit. Oh, did we not do this part? I guess not. Yikes. Alright, let's get in here. I guess it's still low here. Yeah, look at that. Pretty low indeed. Alright, landscaping and leveling. Leveling tool enabled. Come on, let's go up. Let's go fly a kite. Up to the highest height. Little Mary Poppins there for you. And Dick Van Dyke, if you don't know who Dick Van Dyke is, he was an icon, a legend in the Disney movie world. Also had his own TV show, the Dick Van Dyke Show, if you're old enough to remember that. Not many are anymore, I guess, but there, let's get this all reconfigurated. Let's see how bad that is. Well, we're still... Are we still... We still needs work. Right. Oh, this one's not too bad. I wonder what's going on over there. How come I'm having so much trouble with that? Maybe it's that I'm not seeing what I'm actually doing? Is that what it is? It's a little rough here for sure. Yeah, that's a little rough there. Let's see if we can smooth this part out here a little bit. Yeah, something's going on here. All right. Well, we'll do this, and then I'll kind of finish it up, and we'll come back. I don't want to spend the whole episode doing this. There we go. There we go. Can we get it smoother, please? And maybe it's because I'm too small of a... Okay, let's soften it again. See if this... See if that worked better. I think so. It looks like we've got it a little bit better now, so... not pulling up too many rocks, which is kind of surprising. I would have thought I would pull up more rocks doing this, but... Right, so, I'm gonna finish plowing up these areas, and then we're going to. What are we gonna do? Let's see. Oh, see. Let's go over top of the areas where I filled in the lake or the little ponds, shall we? And see how well those turned out. This spot seemed to have turned out pretty nicely. So that's acceptable. I totally accept that as a decent result. Now there's even that plot of land out there that we can go further into. And let's just go straight across here and plow into here. So far, so good. Must be getting better at this terraforming, filling stuff in. I was quite terrible at it at first. There we go. But I do hate ditches and fences. That's the two things I really don't like at all. At least not in this game. In the game, I don't. I mean, in reality, I don't really mind them now all that much, and when they're in their proper place, and that looks pretty good. I think we can totally live with this. This is not lumpy at all. These spots tend to get a little bit more tricky when you're dealing with smaller areas. Right, so I'll finish up here, and we'll meet you when we'll start doing something else, maybe. All right, well, it's time to get the big boy out, and yes, this is a plow. This is the SM82. There's two of them. There's a smaller one too. Yes, this is by Agro Tonho. I'll just show it to you in the store. It's a plow, big one. SM72, 22 meters. This is the 26 meter one. So yeah, it's pretty big, but it's great for big swaths of land like this that you want to create, or if you just have a lot of plowing to do and you want to get it done, well, just faster than anything else. It is quite heavy though, and a tad awkward, but and it's huge, but I love it. Right, so let's lower that down, set it to create fields, and we're going to just go ahead and just rip open this land from end to end like this. As you can see, I've cleared all the trees, I have filled in the ditches, and now it's just it is time to see whether or not I did a good job of leveling or not, because this is really the litmus test. Litmus. It's the true test of whether, oh, I've left a stump over there. Let's avoid that. So here's the end of our. Let's get it over here. This fence basically denotes the end of our ownership of land, or at least very close to it, because we have right up to this barn here, our neighbor's barn, and that's where we're going to. There, we're just like so. So let's just take a look. Yeah, so if we, yeah, that is just right. His barn is right up next to our. Yeah, land. Yeah, for sure. Now let's just take a big old chunk right here and see how well. It's not bad. Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. A little lumpy there. Not too bad. The plow is still contacting it, so you know it's good. If if you come up against a spot where it misses, that's kind of gives a good indicator of where you might have missed something. And right, there we go. And we can hop into this little fella and kind of just finish it off a little bits. Oh. Let's, there we go. Come on, down you go. There we go. A little adjustment is necessary. Of course, I have the little fancy-dancy cheater. Come on. There we go. The cheater, we could go faster. 3-point slink set up here for this little guy. And makes quick work of touching up little bits like so. And once we're done here, we're not pulling it. Well, we're gonna clear the rocks off this area. We're gonna try to clear the rocks off of this this field too, but I'll do that off camera. It's just kind of like a fairly boring, but we're going to save. I have saved. We're going to save to the left to last, harvesting that little field of canola that we planted, if you recall. So there we go. We are done for the most part. Clearing off this. That's, yeah, we'll have to deal with that in another episode, I guess. But we've filled, and yeah, so if we look at our PDA, now look at that. All the little lakes and streams have disappeared. They're the ones that we had. We filled them in, and now it's like, oh, so we're gonna have to soil sample the new ground that we're gonna have to soil sample this whole new area again. Here we don't have to because, well, obviously we well, aren't planting. This is a field, that's our yard, and yeah, we're still got the we're doing not too bad on the yeah, we're bad here because we plowed it and did all sorts of other stuff to it, so it doesn't like plowing. But anyways, we're gonna take these guys back home. And if we hop over here, we're going to use our swatter again. And we're going to swat that field. And I'll get a few other things set up, but I'm going to just show this right now. I actually got my dinners probably just about ready, so we're going to start a little bit just to show you what it looks like. I guess it should look about the same, I would imagine, as we're going to start a little bit in because I don't want to catch any grass. I don't have crop destruction on, I know, but we're going to have to do it this way just so I don't pick up any grass. And apparently there is an update coming. BC Bueller is doing an update to the swather that it will you'll have a choice if it's a crop swather or a grass or a mower, and that way if you pick from what I understand, if you pick the crop swather, it won't cut the grass, so you won't get the thing that was happening to us with picking up grass. So what we're going to do here, we're going to swath this, and then we're going to come in with a regular harvester and catch the edge bits that we didn't catch with this, just to clean it up and get that last little bit. Ooh, getting very close to the grass there. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing, and let's have a look at the swath. Very interesting. It looks a little different than the grain. This one, of course, this is canola now. So it's got a nice little different, little bit of a different texture to it. Kind of neat. I like it. He's very thoughtful in doing that. So, gonna finish this, and we're gonna catch. and we're going to show you me with the harvester and picking up the swaths then in a little bit. Alrighty then, we're ready. We're all done. We're ready to go. Oh, put that down. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. And of course, it's going to be, yeah, at 6 miles per hour. So, but I did want to show you what it looks like after it's swathed. It looks pretty cool. We're spreading. The straw is actually not spreading anything as we're going. It's showing that, but it's not doing not covering anything on the ground. So that's kind of interesting. Not sure if that was meant to be. We don't have a swath drop, do we? Turn off, turn left, enable straw swath. No, I cannot do that. Right, so this is the way to... Oh, I missed some. Did I miss some? Can't miss anything. There we go. So this is going to be a bit of a slow process, 6 miles per hour. But that's about as fast as they actually go. So we're I showed you a little quick time sped up, but I'm not gonna, probably not gonna. There we go. Ironically, it works much better in cab when you're doing this, because then you can see exactly in front of you. So this is what I'll be doing for the next little while, and then we'll come back and clean up the edges with the regular straight swath method, or straight harvest, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we end up with. All right, so we've cleared off all the crop and we put our straight header on. As you can see, 16,500 liters in the hopper, and we're just going to clean up the edge here real quick and see what we end up with. Oh, now it's spreading. Interesting. Huh. Well, what's our plan going forward for this plot of land anyways? Well, we are what's that? Tree or something? We're going to plow it up because we got stones in here. I want to get rid of those stones first. So we're going to plow it up, pick up the stones, and I think we're just going to go, we're going to run through all the swathable crops. And we're going to just start from the top. We're going to start with wheat, and we'll work our way down the list and check each one of them out. Actually, that's what we're going to do with this little plot of land. And I might even, I got my eye on a, say, a smaller harvester, and maybe just keep it here for testing. And 16,961, that is our total harvest from there. And if we look over here, you should be able to see our yield, and it's a pretty good, if we check our, yeah, so our expected yield potential is 117, so we should be able to get a really good yield off of that piece of land. And then yeah, going forward, I don't know what I want to plant in this field or our field over there. I guess we'll have to find out. But anyways, there you have it. That's it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time for more fun and games in Edgewater, Saskatchewan. And as usual, Don't forget, it's only a game. I'm screwing up the ending, but anyways, thank you all for watching. Till next time, bye for now.